internationally educated professional. The format of our presentation today is of like a TV chat show. We wanted to break through the trend and wanted to give a little variety so that we can spice up the afternoon. And we call it the Fact Finder for IEPs. The way we came up with the name of our show as Fact Finder is by taking the initials of each participant in our presentation, which is Fabio, Allan, Cinderella, and myself, Tushar. I'm going to ask me what came first, chicken or the egg. The presentation is approximately 20 minutes. Toward the end of the presentation, we will do a mock Q&A. That means I'll point out someone in the audience, but I will be asking the question to conclude our presentation. That's to kind of give a treatment of a TV chat show. Also, that after the 20 minutes presentation, we will be open for Q&A if you really wanted to ask some questions. Now, I will introduce the guest speakers on the show today. The first one is Fabio from Brazil. He's been in Canada for only 2 years, and he's got his bachelor's in arts working as a digital marketing analyst. Followed to Fabio is Cinderella Mosqueda from the Philippines with her bachelor's in sciences and working as a benefits analyst. And last but not the least is Allan Virrey, also from the Philippines, has been in Canada for past 3 years and works as a benefits administrator. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and join me. All right, so today we're going to speak about the strategies to succeed in career advancement in Canada for those who are internationally educated professionals. Fabio.
Hi, Tushar.
Hi.
Just before we start the show, may I have the digital format?
Digital format of the show?
Yes.
What should you do with that?
Oh, I do digital marketing. I would like to promote it online.
Oh, fantastic. You can request Adam to get us a copy for that. So tell us, share us the secret of your success in Canada while doing your career advancement.
Okay, so even before I started Rotman's program, I was already looking for a job opportunity. And I guess as most of the new immigrants, I was sending my resumes to every single marketing position, and I wasn't getting many response.
Oh,
so,
I know when I was new, I also started sending out a blanket resume because I was so desperate to find a job and start paying your bills and never got any success. How did you deal with that?
yeah, it was hard. So after I started Rotman's program, I started having some coaching sessions, and it gave me some kind of insights that I didn't really have a consistent brain for myself. So I wasn't exposing myself in the marketing as a specialist in marketing anything. So it was pretty hard, and I wasn't getting the response.
And so what technique did you apply to get success?
Yes, with the coach's help, I kind of focused myself as a digital marketing specialist because I had that strength in my past experience. So I redid my resume using some keywords that the market was using for that field, and I started bringing myself to interviews as a digital marketing specialist. So it was easier for me to sell myself on that because that was a strength of mine.
Excellent. Now, what have you done so far that you could have done better? Is there anything that you would like to add to your strategy?
Yeah, probably have self-awareness a little earlier, take some time for myself to think what are my strengths and what can I base it on. I would be successful even earlier. And just to complement, it really worked, and I ended up getting a job in the digital marketing department at Canadian Tire.
Oh, congratulations, that's a success story. Now, if someone is in a similar situation and is trying to apply your strategy, can you highlight what are the top things that they must consider while doing this?
Yes, I had the opportunity to be at Rotman's, and I had some coaching sessions. But for those who don't have this opportunity, just be proactive. Just go to the market and see, or even at your own work, find a coach, find a mentor. That helped me, and I'm sure it can help.
Yes, proactive is the key. However, sometimes as an immigrant, when you're new in the country and you don't have contacts, you don't know many people in, say, I didn't know much of community in Canada, what do you suggest? Is there a way to kind of reach out?
Yeah, just at your own work, or even go to LinkedIn and find somebody that is a professional as you would like to be, in the title, and works in the industry that you would like to work. And just ask for an information interview.
I think that works, and as they say, it's a 6 degrees of separation. Someone might know, or if you don't know someone will help you to refer to a leader who's in your industry, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Tushar, if I may add. newcomers can also go to employment centers like Access, YMCA, or they can even enroll in the Business Edge program abroad.
Oh, that's a wonderful tip, Alan. Now, Cindy, wanted to know, how did you get your success in your career in Canada?
Before anything else, Tushar, let me just tell you how impressed I am with the number of influential contacts you have on LinkedIn.
Oh, thank you. You've been looking at my profile. Wonderful.
So, because networking is the key strategy to career success here in Canada.
Yes, as they say, it doesn't matter just that what you know, it's also important who you know.
Sure.
So tell us, what is your story? How did you get your career advancement in Canada?
Okay, before learning about LinkedIn, I was already dabbling in social media through Facebook, but it was only through, for professional networking. So when I learned how to fully use LinkedIn to my advantage, I completed my profile, I joined HR groups, and true enough, I started being approached by people who said that they found me on LinkedIn and others had employment opportunities or wanted my opinion.
Wonderful. When you say you completed your profile, could you walk us step by step what it takes to complete a profile on LinkedIn?
Okay, first of all, have a professional headshot photo on your profile. Okay, and be concise in your career goals. Are you there to network? Are you there to sell services and products? You find new employment, and also make sure it shows your work history and your educational background. And lastly, it's important that you have a good list of quality recommendations because it validates the work that you do and people value your work.
Right, yeah. I do hear from time to time people do have challenges in getting recommendations, but you have to strategize that and carefully approach people. Sometimes people are busy, but they do come by giving recommendations, and it really highlights your profile. Thank you so much. Now, is there something that you would have done better or differently, Cindy?
Well, I wish I embraced the use of LinkedIn earlier because now it gives us the advantage of reaching out to people who are leaders in the industry or those who have a good influential clout.
Excellent. So Allan, we'll come to you. We wanted to know your secret of career advancement in Canada.
Well, first, thank you for having me here today. And, Fact Finder is really a great show.
Oh, thank you.
Tushar, I started by giving you a compliment. Giving a compliment is a good way to start a conversation. And I really want to emphasize the importance of small talks in advancing your career here in Canada.
I see.
The first time that I land my job here, I didn't have any idea of what small talk is about. I didn't bother practicing it. I was really uncomfortable using it. Coming from a different culture, we don't talk, we just work.
Oh.
Here, it's really different.
They don't work?
Every day I'm wondering, seeing my colleagues having this little conversation, seemingly senseless conversations, which I really don't care about. But now, after participating in the Business Edge program, I realize and understand the importance of engaging in little conversations with your colleagues, and not just with your colleagues, but with influential people as well.
And it started making sense then?
Yes.
Yes,
That's right.
I understand.
You have to make yourself visible, and engaging in little discussions like small talks. You are saying that I am in.
Yes.
I'm an insider.
Could you give us some example and share the story how small talk helped you in career advancement?
Well, yeah. One time I had a chance to talk to the AVP of Human Resources of Centennial College. And I shared with him that I got accepted in the Business Edge program at Rothman. And it's about organizational effectiveness and career advancement of IEPs like me. And then he told me that, oh, you should stay tuned. There will be new opportunities in the department soon, and we can use your skills on it. And sure enough, after a week, my manager called me, and then I was told that, oh, we have a new position to fill, and we have you in our mind to fill it. And we are asking you to consider it. Isn't it that great?
It's awesome.
So on May 7, I will have a new role. I'll be part of the management team of HR.
Congratulations.
That's
Yeah. Now, what is it that you would have done differently, Allan, if you had a chance?
Had I known it earlier, I should have studied the unwritten rules, the workplace culture. Being prepared is half the battle. So if I have used this earlier in my life, I know that I'll be advancing in my career.
Wonderful. Could you give us kindly a quick highlight or the tips on how to use small talks to advance your career in Canada?
Sure. First, you have to be strategic and targeted in your small talks. You just don't talk to anybody else in the organization. You should target yourself, engage in little discussions with people who have influence, people who can sponsor and champion your career in the organization. Secondly is that you should strike a balance as well. You just don't do the talking. You should
All the time.
hone your skills because your colleagues might see it in a bad light, and you don't want that to happen. And thirdly, you should preach what you teach. You perform, give your best, and deliver what is expected from your work.
Excellent, excellent. Now, before we continue learning from a distinguished panel of speakers, I'd like to mention that you're welcome backstage in our powder room to speak with our guests if you have more questions. Now, Fabio,
Yes.
we want to come back to you and find out, are there any skills that you would like to hone in the
Yes.
future?
Yeah, but I just want to go back to him. I find it very hard for me to kind of break the barrier to start a small talk. Do you have like any tips on that?
Yeah, of course you can talk about sports, weather, the current events. And like what I did earlier, I started by giving Tushar a compliment.
Uh-huh.
That's
It
a good
always
way to
works.
do. I normally, when I'm going to work, I read the newspaper Metro or something,
Yeah.
and then pick up on the current issues, and then I bring it up at work. Or did you read about this? Or what do you think about this story? Or what about this movie? So there are a lot of topics available in the news and the current newspapers and magazines that you can bring it up at work.
Yeah, really. Those are good ideas.
So what skills do you want to refine in the future, Fabio?
So I would say small talk, like my communication skills, and I intend to, like my strategy now on, since I'm new in the organization and not everybody knows me, to engage in small talks with like key people on my department and really tell them like my ideas that I would like to implement, and then make sure I go and do it, what I just told them, and go back and tell, okay, I did that, that's the result that I got for the organization. So kind of, keep branding myself and showing results.
That's a good strategy. You tell them what you plan to do, then you tell them while you're doing it, and then you're going to inform them this is what you've done.
Yes.
It kind of reinforces what you've been up to.
Yeah,
That's
the
great.
plan.
Now, are there any areas where you would still require practice or any strategy for your future goals?
Yeah, I would say my communication skills, but I guess it's more like practicing, then I'm gonna get better.
And what strategy do you have in mind to improve your communication skills?
Just engage on some organizations that I can practice my communication skills in English, like some group of interest that I can like network and practice those communication skills.
Right. My friend who came from India used to watch a lot of English movies with subtitles.
Uh-huh.
And that helped him to kind of practice on the accent, language skills, communication skills. And when I see him a year and a half later, he's really moved so much fast ahead in communication skills because he's been picking up how the films or the community or the culture in the Western world is.
That's good.
Now, Cindy, we're coming back to you, and we want to know if there are any skills that you would like to refine in the future.
Based on the success of the strategies used by Allan and Fabio, I think I'd like to incorporate personal branding into the social media platforms that I'm in. Okay, so like maybe I'll be uniform, like I'll be consistent in Twitter, in LinkedIn, in Facebook. So wherever people look me up, they'll see it's the same person.
Well, that's interesting. So
Yes.
it's kind of personal branding using online networking that you're already using.
Yes, and from Allan, I think I'll translate his small talk into valuable comments on the groups that I'm in, because that's how I'm gonna know my presence known online.
That's a very clever advice because I noticed that I've got thousands of friends on Facebook and LinkedIn. And sometimes the comments that you make, people are not aware of the reach of those comments. And you have to be so careful of making those comments, of liking an event or an occasion, because that kind of translates your personality, who you are, and you have to target that towards your career, how you would like to advance in your career further. That's wonderful. Thank you, Cindy. If someone is in a similar situation and is trying to use the strategies that you have advised, are there any key points that they should keep in mind?
Okay, because using social media to network is more than just signing up and hoping for the best. You should do the following things. So have a complete profile. So that's with the picture, your goals, recommendations. Secondly, behave in an appropriate behavior in your chosen social media. So on Twitter, on LinkedIn, it's probably not very recommendable to post your top 10 funniest pickup lines. Or on Facebook, I don't think your readers would be interested to see in your wall my review of the latest Wall Street Journal.
You're right, yes, that's very clever, because that's another thing which we've been noticing, that people have been posting family photos, holiday photos on Facebook, but that is personal and social media.
Yes.
LinkedIn is very professional and you need to have a corporate image, and the recommendations and all that will have a well. Thank you, Cindy. Now, Allan, I wanted to know which direction are you planning your career ahead, and what skills you would like to polish in the future?
Yeah, there's always room for improvement, and I really want to make myself always marketable and updated. So I really want to improve on my networking skills. I'll probably leverage on the use of social media, like Cindy's been using LinkedIn for this one. And to be honest, my profile is 80% complete, and I don't want to be branded as if I don't care, That's why I'm going to complete it and get recommendations from colleagues. And then next is, I already volunteered in some organizations. We have a new commerce assistance program in our church. I do presentation, and then I even connect them. And I always remind myself that, networking is not just for me in advancing my career, but also to help others, especially IEPs like us.
Wonderful. Now, are there any key points that you would like to suggest while using these strategies to someone who's in a similar situation?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, you have to be targeted, strategic in networking, and then, always ask for help. There's always people who are ready to help you, especially, you're not alone here in your journey, in your career here in Canada.
Excellent. Now we're going to open this panel for a Q&A. It has been helpful in listening to all the strategies that you've shared with us. Yes, Tom Cruise over there, you have a question? Yes, my question is for Cindy. Cindy, I'm quitting the film industry now, and I would like to have a corporate job. What do you suggest? What should I take care of while creating my profile on LinkedIn?
Okay, Tom, thank you for your question. So first of all, complete your profile, picture and everything, up to the recommendations. Second, build your network selectively, so don't just add anyone and everyone. You want to have influential contacts. And 3, adapt your behavior to the social media platform that you pick.
Wonderful, thank you. Yes, J-Lo over there. This question is for Allan. Allan, you highlighted on the importance of small talks at workplace, and I'd like to apply this strategy while I'm producing my music videos. Could you tell me what should I stay away from while attempting to do small talks?
Well, J-Lo first. I love American Idol. You know what? You should refrain from talking about personal matters. Don't ask questions about health, marital problems, or things like that. It really depends on the degree of your relationship with the people you're dealing with. And from an HR perspective, don't talk about any discriminatory grounds. Religion, sexual orientation, and things like that.
That's valuable.
Anything you can talk about.
Thank you, Allan. Now, we appreciate your enthusiasm, but we're going to take one last question considering the time frame. And yes, George Bush over there. I have a question for Fabio. You've been talking about personal branding, and you know that my personal branding is not really going very well. Could you kindly advise me what are the key factors I should be considering while continuing to be in politics?
Yeah, sure. George, 3 points. Just first, like self-awareness, know your strengths, have focus and build your brand on that, and then just market yourself.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. We thank you all for watching Fact Finders, and we'll give a big round of applause for our wonderful audience here. For more information, visit our website www.factfinders.ca. That does not exist.
really broke the paradigm in terms of a presentation. And you did a great job of it. I mean, I really don't know what else to say. You hit, if I'm being really nitpicky in terms of content, you hit all the content, and you did it in a format that was really creative. I really appreciated that.
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, Tushar, what industry are you in or going into? Just curious.
I have my small business. I have an advertising agency that I
Okay.
work under, and I work with the film industry as well.
Okay, 'cause I'm not surprised. Man, are you comfortable up there? Or there's a career as a talk show host, because
Thank you.
little things like you hit all the points, but what was great was that you reiterated the points, you clarified the points, you engaged them and engaged us by doing it in bringing up more levels of detail. So all the way across, just 4 fantastic personalities. You really hit high numbers all the way down this on my score sheet. Really well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
At the risk of sounding redundant, you ticked all the boxes. I thought it was very unique, incredible in just about every respect. You engaged us. One of the things I particularly enjoyed in terms of the format that another type of format doesn't allow you to do is be interactive, because you can continually go back and forth between the different participants and reinforce and add to different points, which gets a lot more information out there, but also makes it very entertaining. The interesting thing is that this kind of presentation is great for an audience like this, whether you could use it in a business setting, and I'm not saying this was a business setting, so that's nitpicking. The other point I'll mention is I'm involved with a Chamber of Commerce and Mississauga Board of Trade, and in continually looking at different ways for doing things, we've adopted a format similar to this for certain business functions we run, where we use a professional mediator, or interviewer I should say, who actually brings the key speaker up in front, and the two of them sit there like a TV show. And I'd like to introduce you to the guy that runs the TV show.
Very nice. I don't have anything to offer. I mean, the first thing I wrote is, I don't know if you knew you were going to be the last group of the day, but this is such a great example of like thinking about where we fit into a presentation. This is the perfect kind of format for this time of the day. It's been a long morning. We're 20 minutes over looking for lunch, so I don't know if that was just divine timing or if you guys planned that, but it was brilliant. I said the same thing. I thought I don't think everyone could pull off this kind of format. So I think it's both, I think you knew your audience in the room. I think also not only you, I think you capitalized on everybody's strengths in the group in using this format. So not only did you have the creative choreographer of this, but it felt like it really allowed each of you to shine. I didn't feel like there was one leader in the group. It felt well rehearsed in a spontaneous way, which I think also says about the level of preparation that you've had. Just on a language, I felt like the format also allowed you all to be comfortable. You didn't necessarily get to engage with us in the same way, but you were very present with each other, which was good to see. There were some slight things again. A couple of you, Cindy, you use this a little bit, and Fabio, you use it also. You say just when you're making a really clean statement. So again, it negates the comment. And again, Cindy, I find you very articulate and very clear in your points. Like you can really get it. You negate it sometimes by saying too much. And I think that's just practice. Thank you all.
I have to disagree with everyone here. I was really disappointed. And the reason is that there's no need for me to be here anymore. You've done your job. Mina, they're yours. You've got it now. I really liked the way, although it was extremely entertaining and apparently very casual, you packed information into the interactions. And I'm pretty sure that there was a lot of preparation and review and rehearsal to make it as informative as it was, and yet to make it seem as easygoing and happy and so on. There were 2 little things you did. Rotman's. Are we at Rotman's? We're at Rotman. Never make that mistake. You can never make that mistake. Right? You've got to get the names right. And small talks. The non-count noun, small talk. Okay. That's it. That's about it. There are some little things about, I heard the occasional, and gonna, which do the same thing as does. little bit of, final ED linked in, that one you wanna say correctly, just with a T sound. I found that the delivery was very fast, and you probably planned that to keep the patter going, to keep the energy high. I didn't have any trouble understanding or following. Normally, that rate I would have had an issue with, but because of the nature of the interaction, I think it worked. And I was impressed with how dynamic you all seemed, although seated, because that's not easy for everyone to do, but you were all extremely engaging, great characters, and yeah, just very, very pleased with how much you got in there in a really very amusing format. Nicely done.
Thank you.